Gamers, what's good? We're going to talk about some Gold Pride today. Now, as you can see, I'm currently on a 5-game win streak to Master 4, but don't let that fool you. I was doing really good with this deck. I got all the way to Master 3, then I ranked down to Master 4, then I ranked down to Master 5, and now I just did another win streak going back up to Master 4, which leads me to the conclusion that Gold Pride Punk is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Definitely not tier 1, and some people would say it's tier 2. I definitely don't agree. I think it has some consistency issues that leave it probably, if I were to estimate, around like Rogue, maybe slightly above Rogue, like a tier 3 deck. So as a short introduction to the deck, Gold Pride relies on you having less life points than your opponent, which is why it has a really good synergy with the Punk cards, because the Punk cards pay a bunch of life points, then your life points are lower than your opponent's. The Gold Pride engine also just works really well in tandem with the Punk engine because we're pretty much focused on this rank 3. Once you can get to a rank 3, you have access to basically your entire Gold Pride engine off of yugioh carry. Carry is going to search your spell, your searcher spell, Better Luck Next Time, which you only need 2 of, by the way. And Better Luck Next Time can then search your carry. You're going to go carry, search the trap, or sometimes, you know, it'll depend on your hand for sure. Like sometimes you might be better off searching the roller baller to get a level 5 to just make a level 8 synchro. But really, for the most part, with your rank 3 going first, you'll want to search the spell, and then with the spell search carry. Carry is going to search the trap, ideally for this trap card, and this trap card is really good. We're only running 1 because this is a best of 1 format, so like I'm not a huge fan of drawing traps going second, and you never know, so I'd rather run 1, but this is a really good trap. Ideal scenario, if you have lower life points than your opponent, when you activate yugioh carry, you actually get to dump a monster, so you can actually dump the roller baller. And if you do that, that's ideal scenario. When you set your trap on your opponent's turn, you can activate it, reveal 3 Leon. Leon has an effect to revive from grave, so you'll get both the Leon and the baller on the field. The Leon is a quick effect synchro, and baller is a quick effect fusion. The fusion snatches a monster and grabs it basically like an equip spell, whereas the synchro monster, Star Leon, is a pop and it gains attack equal to whatever it pops. So that's 2 interruptions off of 1 trap card. That's actually 3 because the trap card also pops a monster when you activate it. So if you get full setup, this trap card should be 3 removals on its own if you get the proper setup. And that's not even to mention that you can also, you know, set up a Sharakusai so that you can go into Amazing Dragon and get like 2-3 bounces. There's a lot of things you can do with this deck. It also has really easy access to Zeus thanks to the Fortune Tune. So going second, you know, that comes up pretty often where you're just kind of trying to bait out enough interruption that you can just land a rank 3, go into Fortune Tune, make a 4 material Zeus using the Downerd, and just fucking demolish everything, right? Nyan Nyan is an absolute must play in this deck. The reason for that is because Nyan Nyan is kind of the glue that puts your Punk engine and your Gold Pride engine together. It's really a solid and fun deck, honestly. I mean, it's not perfect. Again, it has some consistency issues. And if you don't run the hand traps, going second is even rougher. So you kind of have to like have a balancing act there. Also, your grind game is a lot worse if you don't run more of the trap. But if you run more of the trap, your going second is a lot worse if you draw into them. It's kind of a tough balancing act for this deck. Still, I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's really good. I also want to point out the Cyber Slash Harpy Lady here. Yeah, I'm playing this card because I was like really low on UR dust. You know, I got the ground Xenos and stuff, and I also built Samurai, so I was just running really low on UR, and I did not want to buy more gems without a sale. But yeah, you guys probably want to replace this for like a Photon Lord. Photon Lord is a rank 8 monster negate. That's really easy. It's really easy to make a rank 8 in this deck if you ever need it. Another option, if you already have it and you don't want to make one, if you have Berserker of the Tenyi is also a really good option. It has come up for me once, but like I'm not trying to tell you to play this card. This card is ass in the deck. Anyway, I have some really solid replays, and we'll do probably some live gameplay in solo mode just to show like the ideal full combo. Actually, we're going to be doing some solo gameplay first, just because I feel like sometimes when we do the replays before the live gameplay, it can get a little bit confusing what's actually happening. So we're just going to start with an introduction to these cards. This is a pretty good hand to showcase just because I don't have too much gas in here. So we're going to start with an emergency teleport here. And I'll just get to show you how Xiamin is kind of like a 1.5 card combo to get into your Gold Pride engine. So here's Xiamin. And there we go. We're going to go for Xiamin effect, obviously adding the Foxy Tune to hand here. Adding the Foxy Tune. We will have to discard one of these hand traps, or if you wanted to, you could discard the Leon. But I think I'd rather keep Leon because it's some of the little bit of gas we have in this hand. So I would go for Foxy Tune here, and obviously you want to go for the second effect. Be careful with that. As for my discard for Foxy Tune, this is kind of debatable. Like, if they didn't already max C you after the Xiamin, then most likely they don't have max C, and you can just, like, you know, discard the Ash. We'll discard the Ash, we'll keep Droll for later, and from deck, we're going to summon out a Shirakusai. Very important to do that. So here's Shirakusai. We go Shirakusai effect to get our fusion summon. Using these two here, we can make our Rising Carp. Here we go. And here's the boy. Here is the boy. With Rising Carp, obviously, we don't need to use that graveyard effect. With Rising Carp, we're going to summon out the Deer Note as well as the Wagon. So here's Wagon. Special summon another, of course. We go for Deer Note here. So Wagon and Deer Note. And yes, we're going to go Wagon effect, of course, to get ourselves that field spell, that insane field spell. So here's Extreme Jam Sessions. This card is insane. Now we can use these two and make ourselves, again, don't run Cyber Slash Harpy. You don't run this card. We can make ourselves a Jam Dragon. And here there's a very, very important part of your combo. This is where you get to basically glue Punk and Gold Pride together. So very, very important here. Never go Jam Dragon Chainlink 1. You want to use this as Chainlink 2. So you go Chainlink 1 Deer Note. Chainlink 1 Deer Note, we're going to grab our Shirakusai from the grave. Then Chainlink 2, you go Punk Jam Dragon Drive. Extremely important. Extremely important. Perfect. So with the Jam Dragon Drive, you send the Nyan Nyan to the graveyard. And you don't add it to your hand. And basically now, because Deer Note is going to summon a level 3, that's going to trigger the graveyard effect of Nyan Nyan. And you can also use the Nyan Nyan to chain block your field spell if you want to. But this is super important because, as you can see here, if we had no gas in hand, if we didn't have Leon in hand, the only way for us to get into our Gold Pride plays would be specifically to use these two to make our rank 3 Chariot carry over here, right? But we don't need to do that. We can special summon out the Leon. It's definitely better to keep Shirakusai on the field to be able to synchro on your opponent's turn with the Dragon Drive. Sorry if you hear sound in the background. My cat is kind of wilding out. So here's Leon on the field. And now with Leon and Nyan Nyan, you can make yourselves the Chariot carry. So we're definitely going to do that using these two here. Put it in the extra monster zone. Doesn't really matter. We don't run link monsters, so there's really no cost at us using our extra monster zone. So here I'm going to detach the Nyan Nyan, and that way you can actually recur Nyan Nyan and use its effects more than once during a duel. We're going to grab ourselves the Better Luck next time. This card is insane, and you will use the dump of Chariot Carry here since your life points are lower than your opponent's. It's very good to sometimes, if you're going to get your trap card, to put a Roller Baller in the grave. The reason this is good is because that means on your opponent's turn, when you reveal, like in this case, we'll reveal 2 Leon, 1 Baller. If we do get to summon a Leon, Leon can bring back one of those Ballers in the grave on summon, and then we'll get a Quick Effect Synchro on opponent's turn, and we'll get a Quick Effect Fusion on opponent's turn. So here we're going to dump a Baller. Very good. Now we can go for our spell card, activate Better Luck next time, and we're going to search Carry. So add the carry to the hand here. You definitely want to search carry here because you want to get your trap card. I was going to say on end phase, this also will summon carry. It will bounce itself back to the extra and summon carry. Problem with that being carry only adds the trap to your hand. It doesn't set it on the field. So you definitely don't want to do that. You definitely want to search carry here. Activate carry to special summon it in defense position. And I just want to remind you guys, we have not used our normal summon this entire turn. So carry effect. And we're going to grab ourselves a Start Your Engines. There we go. Oh yeah, another important thing to mention, I forgot to mention about Gold Pride, is you can special summon all of them from your hand when your life points are lower than your opponent's. And your spell here actually lowers your life points when it searches. Like you lose life points equal to the attack of whatever monster you search. So a lot of the time, if you can get to a rank 3 pretty early, but your life points are still at 8,000, as soon as you get your Better Luck next time, your life points will be lower than your opponent's, and from there you can special summon all your Gold Prides. But anyway, with that being said here, we're going to set our Gold Pride, Start Your Engines, and this is looking really, really solid to me. Our Chariot Carry is going to go back to the extra deck. And we are going to show me playing against the bot here because a lot of the stuff that this deck does, like this looks really bad until you see like how good this trap card is. Now, unfortunately, we do have to summon a carry here, which means that what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go Shirakusai first to make some space on our field so that we can get full value off of this trap card here. if we're lucky. So here they're going for dynamic power load. We obviously don't care about that. They're going to summon out the Dynamis Plesios. And at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for Shirakusai again, because I want some space on the field for all my monsters. I don't want to have just one monster space on my field. So with the Shirakusai, we're going to go into the Amazing Dragon using Shirakusai as well as Jam Dragon Drive. So here is Jam Dragon Drive. We'll put it in the extra monster zone to make the most space possible. So we're going to bounce this. We can bounce also the field spell, not that it matters. So bounce both of these, and then we can go for the draw off of Punk Jam Extreme Sessions. So there we go. Bounce both of those. And I'm going to hope that they have a way to Pendulum Shokan. Otherwise, we won't get... Okay, well, we're going to play a bit more because I didn't get to show you what the trap actually does, which is kind of annoying. Okay, we drew the Gold Pride Nitro Head. This card is really good. I'm not going to do too much here because I really want to show you what these cards do. But we are going to summon the Nitro Head because I want to show you some interesting stuff with this card as well. That's fine. We'll just pass on this. Again, I just want to show you what this trap does. And Nitro Head, I mean, it gives me a chance to introduce that card as well. So it's definitely worth it. So in standby phase, Nitro Head will put a token on your opponent's field. And then that token, during your opponent's turn, you can pop it. And it'll pop every card adjacent to it. My favorite thing to do with Nitro token is put it in front of an extra monster zone. And then I'll just, because you can synchro or fusion on your opponent's turn, even if this Amazing Dragon wasn't here, just by using either my Leon or my Roller Baller, I'd be able to actually cover this zone, so they'd be forced to use this extra monster zone if they want to link summon or stuff like that. And that makes it so you get the best potential value for it. In this scenario, it might have been smart to go for one of these zones, just so I get a guaranteed spell or trap pop. So it really depends, but I'm just showing you, you know, my little strategy with the Nitro token. Here they're going to go for their field spell, and we're finally going to get to show you the trap. So they summon the Plesios, we activate our Gold Pride, start your engines, and it's going to destroy the card that was summoned. You have to activate this trap when a monster is summoned. Unfortunately, you can't just activate it whenever you want. It's going to destroy this, and what we're going to reveal is Leon, and Roller Baller. In a perfect world, we would have had 3 Leon in deck, and we would have guaranteed had a Leon summon, and then summon Roller Baller from the grave. But it is what it is. So if we're lucky here, we're going to get a Leon. Let's see. And it is a Leon. Perfect. Love to see it. Don't have to re-record it. So we're going to go for Leon here. Sometimes you might actually want to go for Nyan Nyan on summon of Leon here. That way you don't get locked. Because while Leon does synchro summon, you don't have to synchro summon a Gold Pride monster. You just have to use Gold Pride monsters as material. So, you know, you could summon, technically, you could use it to make the Psychic End Punisher if you wanted to. But here it doesn't really matter. We're going to go for the Leon effect. We definitely want the Baller here in this scenario. And they're going to go, okay, they're going to target one card I control and destroy it. That's completely fine with us. We don't care about that whatsoever. So they're going to pop the Amazing Dragon. Does not matter. Anyway, so Leon effect resolves. So we grab our Roller Baller from the grave. Okay, they summon something awesome. So we get to showcase a little bit more here. What you want to do, usually, you want to go for your Synchro first, because your Synchro requires a certain amount of levels, and then you can use your Synchro and your Roller Baller as the materials for the Quick Effect Fusion. So you definitely want to go Leon first, if that's an option. So we go for Leon here. We're going to make our level 6 Synchro using Leon and Carry. And we get to summon it over here. Again, you want to keep that zone locked, so that they have to use this if they want to link summon. And we don't use the graveyard effect of Carry here. We do not need it. Special summon one face-up pendulum monster from your extra deck. Okay, that's whatever. We don't care about that. We're just going to go for Star Leon effect here, targeting the Brachion. And you do need to let this resolve here. So we let it resolve. We destroy the card. They'll get their summon. It's fine. They're giving me gas so that I can showcase everything. They put it in the extra monster zone. I am super tempted to do this, so let's do it. See, they had to use their extra monster zone here, so we can go for the Nitro Head. We can pop the token under the extra monster zone. It's going to pop everything adjacent, so it pops the monster in the extra monster zone. And at this point, they're probably out of fumes, I'm guessing. Yeah. So because we use the effect of Star Leon, it's going to go back to the extra deck, and we're going to get a draw. Yeah, and we get to special summon Leon from the grave here if we want to. So we're going to do that. We get a draw from our spell, and we even get to summon Nyan Nyan, you know? So you're kind of getting an idea here of how good the grind game for this deck is. I'll get to showcase the fusion summon a little bit later. I mean, I don't want this replay to run too long. I just wanted to show you, give you a decent idea of the general gameplay loop of this deck. So I think that replay kind of achieved that. Let's move on to the replays. All right, this first replay here is just going first against Mathmech. And boy, is it a good showcase for that combo, for the Gold Pride engine. And now that you're more familiar with what the cards do, it'll be a bit easier to understand what I'm doing here. So we have Terratop. Terratop is super good in this deck because it's a free rank 3. They're going to go for Ash actually on our Terratop, which is kind of sad. It basically means we have to normal summon Ash here. So special Terratop, it gets Ashed. It is what it is. Normal Ash. Using these two, go into carry. As soon as you get into a rank 3, obviously you get your full Gold Pride combo. So we add the Better Luck Next Time. Better Luck Next Time, activate. We search ourselves a carry and lose a little bit of life points. We special out the carry. We get to search our trap card. So search the Gold Pride, start your engines. We special Nitro Head in the middle zone. Doesn't matter where you summon Gold Head. And yeah, on end phase also our Xyz is going to bounce itself back to the extra and we get a draw from our continuous spell. So what we have here, we have Duel, we have the Nitro Head token pop, and we have our trap with no Baller Engrave. So not the ideal setup. I mean, honestly, that first Ash was actually a pretty big differentiator, but it is what it is. It's still pretty good. So pass turn here on this. I'm going to show you. This trap is really good. So with this token, we're going to put the token, like I did earlier, under the extra monster zone. They go circular, and I'm like, oh, buddy. So obviously we go Max C here. We go Max C, and they go cross out on the Max C. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Max C would have been super funny, and then everyone in the comments could have said, you just won because of Max C, but that's not the case here. So they get their circular, summon out the circular. We go for the trap instantly to pop that circular, and we get to reveal 1 Leon, and I reveal 2 Baller, because I think Baller's a little bit better than Leon in this scenario. So they go for Sigma, and we're actually going to go for Baller right away. I just want to cover this extra monster zone to make sure that they can't use it. So we get our pin Baller. If you guys want to know what this fusion does, since we didn't get to showcase it yet, this fusion is a quick effect to grab a monster your opponent controls and equip it over here. Up to the number of materials used for its fusion summon. No, sorry, it's not a quick effect. It's on summon. So here, basically, after this chain resolves, Sigma will get summoned, and then we'll get to activate Pin Baller and grab up to 2 monsters on the field to equip to it. Obviously, we're going to leave the token here. So they go Sigma, we grab it, and then they go for Small World, reveal Parallel Exceed, banish the Dotscaper to grab their Firewall Defensor. And here, it's basically Nitro Head control, baby. We do Droll in case that they get like a search of some kind, but I don't think they could get one. So here they go for Lingeribo, trigger the Firewall Defensor, summon that, and then they get to make themselves a Splash Mage. Then, because they use the Firewall Defensor as link material, it'll come back, but if it's used as link material, it gets banished. So at this point, I can see a choke point. I go, okay, I Nitro Head, pop the token. It pops the Splash Mage before they ever get to activate Splash Mage. And then they're just stuck with this one monster. They'll get to, at best, make a Link 1. They have no follow-up in the grave. So, yeah, we literally cleaned them up with literally, like, 1 trap. And what was it? The Nitro Head? Yeah. Clean it up with literally, like, 2 or 3 interruptions. So easy money. I just needed to showcase that because I wanted to show you the fusion in action. And I also wanted to show that, you know, you can't really sleep on that trap card. Like our board turn 1 there did not look impressive at all. And yet it is still really good. We can also, if you want, I'll show you one where we also destroy Superheavy Samurai if you're still doubting. All right, next up, let's do a replay where we destroy Superheavy Samurai. That is very satisfying right now. I know a lot of people are kind of already annoyed with them. They just dropped and they're fucking insane. But look at this, okay? So here we have Terratop in hand. Terratop is really good in this deck because it can help you insulate yourself from hand traps. Here they go for Max C. We're going to obviously Ash the Max C. Then our Terratop can search our Takatomborg. We're going to special out the Takatomborg, use these two, and we actually make a Gossip Shadow. This card is really, really important for this deck. One, it's like your only way to stop your opponents from using Nibiru on you. So if you can get a Gossip Shadow pretty early, that's great. But it's also just good insulation against other hand traps as well. In this scenario, I was just really worried because if they ashed my Better Luck Next Time, we had no plays. So yeah, what it does is it negates a monster effect and it changes the monster effect to both players draw 1 card, which can actually save you, by the way. That draw, sometimes it'll draw me into Droll, and it actually procs the Droll because you made your opponent draw a card. So you get a negate, you both draw, then I get to activate Droll. I love that. It happened pretty often. It's pretty sick. But anyway, so here we go. We're going to activate Better Luck Next Time, and wouldn't you know it, they did have the Ash. So it's a good thing we set up the Gossip Shadow here. We get to go Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, detach 2 material to negate the Ash Blossom. Very good, very good. And we get ourselves a draw. We draw into Foxy Tune, which is just insane here. Absolutely insane. We go Captain Carry, special the Carry to search the trap, add the Start Your Engines to the hand. We can go Foxy Tune and discard the Baller. This is so good because getting Baller Engrave is something you already want to do in your combo. So now it just means that we like naturally dump to the Baller. We get to summon Xiamin, and here we get to really like pop off. So we go Xiamin, search the Shirakusai. Did not use our normal summon yet, by the way. Go for Shirakusai, use these two. Go Rising Carp. By the way, that Shirakusai was our normal summon. Rising Carp effect, summon out the Wagon and the Deer Note. Wagon effect, grab the field spell. Really, that draw from Gossip Shadow like made our turn so much better when it drew into Foxy Tune. And then we get to go for Jam, Dragon Drive. And we get to use the effect of Deer Note, bring back Shirakusai, Jam, Dragon Drive, pay 600 to dump. And I'll just explain my misplay here. I dump the Nyan Nyan, Deer Note summon the Shirakusai, and I accidentally right-clicked on the effect of Nyan Nyan. So I didn't get to summon Nyan Nyan here. It wasn't a big deal, but we would have gotten an extra interruption from it. We could have made like our synchro early with the Nyan Nyan. So definitely a misplay there. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Well, is it even a misplay? It's a misclick. I was like tensed up and I like accidentally right-clicked. But anyway, so we pass on that. Our opponent is playing Superheavy Samurai. They start with Bike. They get their Soul Piercer. They activate Wakaushi. They use Wakaushi effect, summon it. And then I figure, okay, Big Benkei, it doesn't search if you don't control a 6 samurai monster. I mean, a heavy samurai. Sorry, I keep mixing up their names. If you don't control a super heavy, you can't activate Big Benkei search. So on summon of Wakaushi, I'm actually going to pop it with my trap card. So we go for the trap card here, pop the Wakaushi, reveal 3 Leon from our deck. And because we have the Baller Engrave, we can actually go for Leon effect, but we won't. So Leon locks you into only summoning Gold Pride for the rest of the turn. So here I was like, you know, I think I'd much rather have my Shirakusai effect into Dragon Drive than lock myself just for the fusion. We'll get our synchro with Leon, and we have the access to the Shirakusai for bouncing here, which is quite good against 6 Samurai. So here we go. Pastor. Oh, so we decide to summon the Nyan Nyan instead. Yeah. So they go for the Wagon here. Normal Wagon. Wagon effect on summon. We didn't even have to use any of this stuff, bro. Just the Ghost Ogre did the job. But, you know, let's say we didn't have Ghost Ogre there. We could have just went for a Synchro. Synchro pop the Wagon before they ever get to activate the Search effect. And, yeah, that would have cleaned it up. Because if you stop the Wakaushi, and then you get rid of the normal summon of Super Heavy Samurai, they actually run out of plays. Like, they actually run out. The only other play they could possibly have after you do that is if they drew their one of Stealthy. Then even if they had Stealthy, obviously we had other interruption to get rid of that one. Could have just bounced it back and then we won the game instantly. So it didn't even matter if they would have had it. All right, and finally for the last replay here, we'll do going second. Okay, so I'll just be honest with you guys. If you don't draw a bunch of hand traps going second, you're going to have a bad time. The decks in this current format are setting up so many interruptions. If you're drawing all gas, most likely you're losing. This is even the case for the best decks in the game, by the way. Like if you are playing Super Heavy Samurai and you go second and you draw only gas, you're probably losing. Same goes for Mannadium. A lot of the time it's just gas is not enough. You need some hand traps or some interruptions or some solid board breakers that actually deal with the board. So yeah. I'm playing a lot of hand traps, and yes, this going second replay is me getting the good hand traps, so I get to play the turn after. So anyway, our opponent goes for Ryam Heart here. I decide to maxi the Ryam Heart because I figured why ash it? As soon as they draw something, I'll just go Droll and Lock, and that pretty much wins the game here. And they have the call by for maxi. I actually don't even care because Droll and Lock is crazy against this deck, and our better luck next time is basically game after. So it's whatever. So they go for the called by on the maxi, completely fine with me. Get to negate the maxi, they get to search their ball. As soon as they search their ball, we're going to go for Droll and Lockbird here. And then they special the ball, they decide that they can't really do anything good here. You know, they could have gone to an Amritara, but Amritara couldn't search because of Droll. We draw into Nyan Nyan, which is not the best draw here, but it's definitely not bad either. We activate, of course, the Punk Jam Extreme. And with our better luck next time, we add a Captain Carry. Summon the Carry. Carry effect, search the trap card, of course. And because we lost life points, we could special summon the Carry, which means we could normal Nyan Nyan and go into our Chariot Carry. So we go Chariot Carry and attack position. Reason for that is because I'm thinking, man, Mannadium, I don't think they like Zeus very much. So I just go for Battle Phase here. I'm going to swing over the Ryam Heart. We did dump the Baller just in case for next turn with our trap card. We go for Downerd, and we go for Zeus. So I figured, you know what? We have this trap card to threaten, and if it's not enough, we got Zeus. But yeah, they had the Nibiru, which was really, really annoying. I'm not going to lie. This had me pretty freaked out. This meant that all I had to really play with was my trap. Thankfully, we had 3 Leon in deck, but still, just not looking too good here. They go for Abscission, pop their Nibiru to add their field spell, activate the field spell. Thankfully, we still had Ash Blossom in hand, so we can Ash the field spell here. And after that, I don't exactly remember what happens after that. Let's see. Well, I think they had Visa Starfrost in hand. Yeah. So they go Abscission, summon out the Starfrost. Here I go for my trap to pop the Starfrost. And we're going to reveal 3 Leon. Leon will get to summon from the grave our Baller. So, yeah, they get their Calarium effect to bring back the Visa Starfrost. We get to summon Yan Yan and go for Leon effect to bring back the Baller. Super duper important here. Bring back the Baller from the grave. Then Yan Yan summons to the field. Not super useful yet, but could be useful later. They summon their Visa Starfrost. And here I'm like, oh my god. This guy messed up. I actually think if this guy left the Visa Starfrost in the grave, he maybe had a better chance because he could have made his fusion. And yeah, we would have snatched his... Well, we could have snatched his fusion with our own fusion. Yeah, maybe this wasn't that bad of a play, actually. This guy was just kind of doomed at this point, honestly. As soon as we go Baller, go into our fusion here, we grab the Visa Starfrost. And now bro is just completely out of place, has to scoop it up. So I think that's a pretty good going second replay, but it's really just drawing the hand traps and then playing Gold Pride, right? So I don't know. It's the best I could come up with. Let's do the card by card. All right, here we are. And for the purposes of this card by card here, let me just, yeah, that's a lot better. I'm not crafting it though. But anyway, card by card time. We have 3 Droll and Lockbird, 3 Maxi, 1 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. This is searchable in your deck, by the way. If you don't need to dump the Nyan Nyan to do full combo, you can search it with your Jam Dragon Drive, and it's just a really, really good card. 3 copies of the Speedroid Terratop, obviously. Speedroid Terratop plus the attack at Tomborg is just so good for this deck. Getting to a rank 3 early to make a carry if you need it is good. Or if you don't actually need the carry, you can actually just go into your Gossip Shadow and protect yourself from the Biru with it. So just a really, really important card for this deck. 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 1 copy of Nyan Nyan. Again, this is the glue. You need this card. 1 copy of Shirakusai, 1 copy of Wagon, triple Xiamine. This is basically a 1.5 card combo into full Gold Pride board. 3 copies of Leon, 3 copies of Carry, 1 copy of Deer Note, 2 copies of the Roller Baller, 3 copies, of Foxy Tune, 1 copy of the Gold Pride Nitro Head. If you already have Carry in hand and you have the Better Luck next time, you can search the Nitro Head, and it's a pretty good search off it because Nitro Head is just a good extra interruption. You guys saw me play with it. I really like that token control under the extra monster zone, since you can actually fill your own extra monster zone so that they are stuck using the one that has a token under it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. 1 copy of Nibiru. Even though people can get a Baron before you can even summon Nib sometimes, I still think it's really worth playing. And also, sometimes it happens that you go Dragite, you get lucky, you reveal a Nib, and hey, you get 1 bounce off your Dragite. Why not? Carries a water, by the way, if you're asking why Dragite's in here. 1 copy of Extreme Sessions, 2 copies of Better Luck Next Time because it's searchable in Engine, 2 Emergency Teleport, double called by, 1 Crossout, 1 Imperm, and 1 Start Your Engine. In the extra, we have the Rising Carp, we have the Pinballer, the Star Leon, 1 copy of Dragite, our Dragon Drive, 1 Amazing Dragon, our Psychic End Punisher. Fortune Tune is your go-to if you want to make a 4 material Zeus. We've got Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, we already talked about this. 2 copies of Chariot Carry, basically your Shishao is very, very important. 1 copy of Downerd, of course, for the format Zeus. The Hope Harbinger, if you have it, the Photon Lord. Again, if you don't have it, Berserker. Berserker is just fine. This is just fine as well. And of course, a copy of Zeus. This deck, it's good. It's just not great. We're in a format that's absolutely insane. The consistency is not through the roof, but I do feel like you could get to Master 1 with a little bit of determination with this deck because, again, it got me all the way to Master 3 before I went on that rank down streak and then got me back up on a 5-game win streak. Definitely an uphill battle, but I really like the deck. Anyway, thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate everyone, and yeah, that's going to be it for me. See you later on stream.